Hey guys, it's the Rant Corner here, and today we are going to be yeah. This is gonna be good. Okay, you're done. We are gonna be reviewing Images and Words. This is gonna be a road trip. Images and Words was definitely a big step in the band's career. It really kind of defined what they were going to be for the next 25 to 30 years. It's really an album that kind of gave progressive metal a big boost in terms of technicality and influence and, things of that nature. There's lots of classic Dream Theater songs on this album, like, the most obvious, Pull Me Under, Another Day, Take the Time, Under a Glass Moon, Metropolis Part 1, Learning to Live. I've basically just listed all the tracks except for Wait for Sleep. Production quality on this album is definitely much better than When Dream and Day Unite. When Dream and Day Unite kind of had this hokey sound, like it was recorded in the garage and then they sent it to the record label and they were like, "That's fantastic! Let's make this an album!" Like they did no mixing whatsoever. But on Images and Words, you can definitely hear the difference in production quality. It's the snare to me sounds like they just recorded it and like they hit it once and it was done. But I mean, I think that's the sound they wanted to go for. They wanted to go for that powerful snare sound, and it sounds like Mike Portnoy is just fucking. It's kind of like that Operation Mindcrime kind of sound where the snare sound kind of erupts instead of just a straight hit. Probably the most synonymous thing with this album is the change of singers. Charlie Dominici was kicked out of the band, and they spent 2 years on a search for a singer. They auditioned 200+ singers, and at that point, Mike Portnoy was just about ready to quit. But they convinced him to stay, and they got a tape in from James LaBrie, and that pretty much the rest is history. He got the audition, they recorded Images and Words, and it's been that way ever since. The first track on this is Pull Me Under, which is probably the song that got the most commercial success. It was played multiple times a day on multiple radio stations, and it got tons of MTV play. It was played on MTV about 3 to 4 or 5 times a day. It was definitely a very successful song and pretty much boosted Dream Theater's success for the rest of their career. The third track, I think, is Take the Time. Take the Time is probably one of my favorite Dream Theater songs because the entire album really has this way of giving a lot of power and punch, but at the same time having a lot of harmonic quality, harmony, melody, lots of these very powerful, emotional it's a bit powerful and emotional way of conveying songs and ideas. And I think Take the Time is a good example of that. Another good song, which has the same kind of idea as Take the Time, is Under a Glass Moon. Probably the biggest mystery of Under a Glass Moon to me is trying to figure out what the hell it means. Is it like about being on drugs? That was my first thought, because something scanning your dreams and silver teardrops falling and liquid shadows crawl and stuff like that. It's odd. It's an odd song. Finally, the final track I really want to talk about is Metropolis Part 1, The Miracle and the Sleeper. And eventually this song would grow an album. Metropolis Part 2, Scenes from a Memory, which we will get to later. And this song really is probably, at that time, the most complex Dream Theater song they had written. When you take the 2 albums that they had already done, that was the most complex out of them all, as they say so themselves. This song really has an airy kind of feel, especially in one section of the song, and you probably all know which part I'm talking about. It really has this way of conveying different textures and different ideas and, different purposes for different sections of the song. Some parts will be aggressive and then some parts will be softer, on purpose. And probably the best part about it is the transitions into these parts. It has a very good flow to it. and it really makes the song what it is. When you listen to Metropolis Part 2, and you go back and listen to Metropolis Part 1, you can really hear the storytelling in Metropolis Part 1. It's a fantastic prequel to an even more fantastic album. If I were to give this album a rating, I'd give it a 9.9 out of 10. And the reason I don't give it a 10 is, I don't know, there's something there in Dream Theater that something about it, I just don't want to give it a 10. You know, there's just something out there. I don't know what it is, but it's out there, and I'm trying to figure out what it is. We might find out later. But that's the video. Images and words, everybody. And don't forget to like, comment, rate, shameless plug. And I'll see y'all later.